So today we've been running men's groups and women's groups here at Embodied Intimacy Training. And we've been working with the idea of, can I trust myself among others? And
which really stems from this idea of, can I trust you? So usually we look outward to see if we can, are you safe? Can I trust you? Can you? And this outward trust, we started to point it back inward.
yeah, because it's like, as a child, we basically depend upon others to take care of us. So it's the child in me that still has this view of some people are safe and some are not. What we want to empower these people with that are in this training is to, first of all, get a sense of self. Because if you don't really sense yourself within your own core, then there's no one in there to even say, my truth is that I'm going to back a little bit off because I'm going to honor how I feel around you. This is how I feel comfortable with you. And that's, instead of looking at, you are not trustworthy, so go away or change, which is what a child does. It's like, hey, I'm connecting with you as a mirror of me, and something is me is evoked, and I'm in touch with that. And I'm going to honor that as I'm going to respect you. So therefore, it's a lot more adult or involved in a way to say, can I trust myself with you? Instead of pointing the finger and being in this endless victimization cycle of, you are bad, men are bad, women are bad, like that thing is a child. That victim is a child looking out for mom and dad to come and take care of business. And it might not have happened when you were entitled to it as a child, but it won't happen for you as an adult. It will just make us annoying, childlike adults, pointing the fingers at everything that's wrong with everybody else so that I'm going to feel good, so I'm going to feel met. This is a way to really see, can I meet myself? And where does it even start? Who am I? You know?
I think one of the most surprising things for me today was just like how overlooked this piece about trust is, and how when finally inquired into is like how fragile it is actually, and how nervous and like there's so much energy here around trust, and and the connection to safety as well, as like, when I feel safe, I trust, and when I trust, I feel safe. There's something that's very interwoven about these words and the way that we use them in these contexts.
Yeah. And there's also something very paradoxical. Because as we step into the circle and speak to, can I trust myself among other men? And basically, everybody are speaking into their enculturation of, I don't trust a man. I don't trust myself among men. Or, hey, I have collapsed into this utter loneliness, and I'm just going to pretend that I'm this cool guy, including myself. I stepped in and I owned that I am really comfortable in my role as a facilitator, as in his function as a psychotherapist. But I can really see how I'm traveling around the world, just dipping into connection here and there, because I run away from long-term commitments. It's just instinctually what I do, because I don't want to get into the stuff that comes up in this long-term deal.
Fascinating.
And then I would have to deal with my mistrust. Like, can I trust you, you know? So as I'm stepping into that, all of a sudden, even though, yeah, you can have a story about that and make up, like, that's a problem that you're going to have to deal with. But when I'm naming the truth, it dissolves into trust. Because truth, we build a culture of trust by speaking the truth. So it is not my problem. It is a cultural problem. We are enculturated. And then we have identified with what we inherited. And that's the problem. That I think that I have a problem with women or with men or with commitment or with long term. It's when I'm using the speaking the truth that I'm setting you free to love me as I am. In my instinctual, automated program around long-term relationships, but it doesn't mean that it owns me. It owns me when I'm hiding it. But when I'm owning it, actually it sets us free to be now, I'm here, and now I'm here, and now. And this is the way we heal as a community here. We're stepping into the truth. And it was fucking toxic. When all these men had stepped in, it was like, we all looked like green in the faces, nauseous, terrified, and just neglected. But it was so powerful to be in the truth of that. How we men are so enculturated to not trust. How a wedge have been shoved in between us men as homophobia. Because we men, we cannot trust words because they've been used to lie to us. We cannot trust emotions because they've been used to manipulate us. We men need to feel the flesh of another brother because my body is far more intelligent than any of my intellectual engineering capacities to analyze and fix and control. My body knows. When you breathe and make a sound and when you hold me, if you're a trustworthy animal or not. Animals know this, and we are animals. And that's where we men need to go, to create a platform. Yeah, right? And from there, that's juicy, and that's what we did later on, a very physical exercise to kind of meet in power and then in vulnerability. First when men are met and held and met in their power, now I can let you hold me in my vulnerability. But before you felt my power, I'm not going to open to you. Before I felt your power, I'm not going to trust you. But I need to feel your power. Then I can surrender and let you hold me because I'm starved for that kind of nourishment from other men.
I think it's fascinating too what we're learning about the difference between men and women and what they need to feel safe and trust. Like, for example, women, for me, I almost listening to you say you need to feel the men on a physical sense. And for me, what I feel I observe through women is that I need to feel your heart. Like I need to feel, and a lot of that happens through these vulnerability sharings and through processing and speaking the truth. And like the women are just so natural with like letting their emotions flow. And it's like, when I feel your heart and your emotions, sister, like I trust you. Like I know that you can be vulnerable with me, and when you can be that vulnerable and tender and open those sacred parts of yourself up to me, yeah, now I feel you. And now there's like solidarity in this unity, in this space of the place where we meet in truth and love.
And that's where oppression comes in. The oppression of men to not have feelings, not have an inner life, to be a soldier and be fucking strong and not show weakness. That's where women are allowed to have emotions, to have a sense of yourself and to speak from that place of vulnerability. But men forget it. So men are so far behind, and that's why we need to, I need to feel the warrior within me so that I can hold my own little baby inside of me. Because otherwise I'm going to leave it to you to take care of my baby. And that's not a man, that's a little baby. So it's like I as a man need to step into my power and my physical strength so that I can actually say, I want you near now because I know somewhere that I'm a warrior, and if need be, I'll defend myself. And ultimately, I'll kill you because my life is precious. We need to have access to that killer, which sounds a little bit much, right? But just to know physically I can defend myself and set really clear boundaries. Then I can actually invite you into my vulnerability. And the other thing when there's some men who did this exercise, really engaging in being met in power, many of them said like, finally I can define myself because I have something to push against. So I saw these dissociated men who were like, oh yeah, this is who I think I am, and this is how I deceive myself. That yeah, sure, I can trust myself. I can trust myself to be honest with you and blah blah blah. But it's just a part of them. It's not really integrated. But as they begin to push and feel, oh my God, there is something inside. I have a soul. I have a knowing inside of me. They just looked newborn. It's like, whoa. And I trust that presence within you. I don't trust the idea you have about who you need to present yourself to be a member of this gang. That's the bullshit that I have to shave off. So we men, we need to create safeties. We can relax our bodies and begin to feel our emotions, feel our needs, feel the intelligence in the body. Now we are ready to process. Now we can actually say, I need to feel your heart, brother. But before we are safe in our own bodies, we don't even have a heart because it is shut down.
I love your passion.
Yeah, thank you.
Strong right now.
I've done some nice immense work. You know, it's like, yeah, I love my brothers.
I'm really like, it's funny because I'm really like melty and sweet
yeah,
and
like,
feeling so blissful and peaceful. And, it's like, there's something so precious.
Feminine.
And yeah, it feels
something so feminine about you.
Yeah, my highlight from this Women and Men's Day today and inquiring into trust was this spontaneous idea I had where I really wanted to feel that you know, I wanted to speak into being the woman in the room in power, and that like, how don't you trust me as the woman in power, and how, and previously have you not trusted female power figures? And one by one, each woman in the training went around and said how she doesn't, where there's a lack of trust between me, and how my role, the kind of space between my role and trust. And it was so powerful. It was really, I mean, my whole shirt was soaked wet with sweat because I was so nervous. But it was actually, it's like, here's the thing, is like when someone speaks the truth, it's like, what I think when my body gets activated, my nervous system gets activated, and I get is like, hold on, we're wrapping it up right now. It's like when something's happening that doesn't feel authentically the truth, but when truth is true, is spoken, is like, there's no, you can, whatever your truth is, it doesn't matter what it is, I can hold it if it's true. So anyway, that's what happened today, and it was glorious. But we have to go now to the session. So we're going to go do more men-women work together, and sending a lot of love from the Embodied Intimacy training.